Warning: the following content contains language that may be inappropriate for younger viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome to the Let's Get Heavy podcast, your exclusive backstage paths to the realm of heavy music. Join us as we engage in conversations with amazing bands, promoters and emerging talents who are making waves in the scene. This episode we are kicking off 2025 with a bang as I'm chatting with Thorn Faustus of Venom Events to chat about their upcoming Venom Festival. So let's get heavy. So first of all, Thorn, I want to welcome you to Get Heavy UK, where we like to highlight bands, gigs, festivals, and where we like to try and spread a little bit of positivity across the metalverse. Now, we're here because we want to talk about your absolute amazing festival that you've put on in our little corner of the UK known as Venom Festival.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. What was the initial spark that ignited the creation of Venom Festival?
So basically, at the time, I was going to local gigs all the time. Since about 2022, I think I started. And then I started performing myself, doing gore burlesque. And I was a fire performer for a little while longer than that as well. And I was going to all my mates' gigs, and they're all like metal bands and like everywhere in Newcastle. And I just wanted a way to kind of like blend it, because they would come to my gigs, I would go to theirs, but there was nowhere for us to like coexist creatively. So I thought there was definitely like something that could be done there to celebrate all types of alternative creatives, as well as small businesses like the vendors and stuff like that I pull in as well. So I just thought, I was like, it's both like two sides of metal alt sick stuff, and I was like, it just needs to be in like one event where both are celebrated equally, because you do get bigger festivals where you will see gore burlesque and fire, but it's normally just like a little, like it's just kind of like thrown in there. And we all perform to alt music anyway. I just thought it would be really cool if we just all did it together.
Yeah, and fantastic job, by the way, honestly.
Thank you.
In my personal opinion, it is the premier festival of the Northeast.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? It is the highlight. It's what everyone should try and aspire to be, because I'm going to be honest, because I'm gutted because I haven't been able to attend yet, because normally when they're on, I'm at graft.
Yeah, I get a lot of that, especially
So,
like there's always something on for a lot of people, especially other promoters or people who've got creative jobs. The issue is we work on weekends.
yes.
But I've got a few things coming up this year, so I'm sure you'll be able to catch
Hopefully,
one.
fingers crossed, because I only get one weekend off every 3 weeks, so
I'll line it up next time for you.
I'll give you my calendar. I'll give you
Yeah,
my rota
give
for
me a
next time.
schedule.
That's absolutely brilliant. But from what I've seen and read online, it's nothing but positivity, and that is what I absolutely love about the
Yeah, I've
entire
had some
thing.
good feedback. It's my favorite thing about it.
That just from what I've seen on Instagram, Facebook, that no one has said anything negative about it. So hats off to you. Congratulations on the success, honestly, man. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
So what were your early goals and aspirations for the very first Venom Festival?
So the very first one was just filled with fear. Like, to be fair, I'm panicking most of the day. But my aspirations for it was just to have like a positive place where all types of alternative creatives would fit together, be celebrated, and be paid for what we do. Because a lot of the time, working creatively, we don't get paid, or not as much as you should, and stuff like that. And I think it's just a shame. And also being alternative, we're really limited to where we can perform. And it's just like you can feel quite pushed out of a lot of places, as almost every alt person will absolutely relate to. So to find a community was all that I really wanted to do, because I found that going to gigs just brought me like a new lease of life anyway, and it's just like my happy place. And I just thought blending the different types of audiences in one place where we'll all get along, everything that's going on is part of our tastes or something new that a lot of the audience haven't seen before, that might be scared of, like, a lot of my audience like alt music but don't know how to step into gigs,
Mm-hmm.
and going to local gigs can be quite scary, especially if it's smaller venues. A lot of the audience are a lot of women as well. And it can be there's a little extra layer of fear there if you don't know
Of
what it's going
course.
to be like. And it's normally quite a small percentage of the crowd are women. And I'm starting to see at the gigs now, it's just going up and up and up. And people are realizing that it's cool and a really positive place where you can mingle and make friends. And there's the positive outcome of money being filtered back into that creative side of the alternative community. And that's like my main priority, is just creating more jobs that are fun, where we get to creatively express ourselves and not have to fit a brief, and just hang out as well with other people that are like us.
Yeah, it's like one big, massive, happy family.
Just loads of goths all together in a brewery.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is probably the best way just to describe it right there. A lot of goths in a brewery,
That's literally all it is. Goths
celebrating,
hanging out.
like I say, the entire alternative community and metal on
Mhm.
top of that. Perfect way. But you mentioned some limitations. What were them limitations? Was that because some certain venues didn't allow the gore burlesque sort of thing, or the flames?
A lot of places don't. So, as a gore burlesque, a lot of the opportunities that I've been given, I've had to make myself out of gore burlesque. I've only been employed to do gore burlesque outside of what I've done for the last 3 years. I think my first one was like early 2022. And then I started doing it properly towards the end of 2023 and building from there. Outside of the opportunities that I've created for myself, I've only been brought into 2 or 3 more jobs
Mhm.
to perform on stage doing gore burlesque, because there's not a lot of alt things going on anyway, and it's just,
Especially in Newcastle. Very
yeah.
rare when you see it in Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah,
Um,
and
so,
fire as well is really touchy.
mm,
I get a lot of work for fire outside of, that's like the main creative that I get to do. But usually you fit in a brief, and I don't get to be like full goth,
mm,
as I like to be with Venom. So
mm,
you are quite limited, especially face tattoos and all of
yeah.
that. Like, you do limit yourself, and a lot of goth and alt things are already limited as much as, like, enough as it is, especially performance like gore burlesque, where not a lot of people know what gore burlesque is. Um, so they wouldn't think to hire it in. And then on top of that, there's not a lot of alt nights that want or even think to bring that in, because there's not a lot of them to begin with.
I feel that maybe there's a lot more people will be getting switched on to it now after Venom Festival and its
I hope so.
success. But what initially sparked the interest in Go Burlesque for you?
So it was always something that I had in the back of my head, since I was like quite young, actually. Like burlesque, in general, was always something that, obviously, it's like super girly, super classic, that I don't fit into, but the vibes of it mixing
Hmm.
with the goth stuff, that was my main inspiration, was something that I always wanted to do. And then I did my first ever like gore burlesque thing in actually Anarchy Brewery, where I do Venom. Years and years and years ago, I'd done my first ever music video with a band called Decrepit Monolith, and they wanted to do a show where they had me to do something to the
Hmm.
alongside the song that I'd been in the music video for, but we couldn't do fire. So I was like, right, I need to get creative. I need to do something weird. So I was literally in this pit. We didn't tell the audience what was going to happen. So they were shocked when a woman in a cloak was pushing through to get to the center of the mosh pit. And I was like eating a heart, spitting it. I wiped it on someone, and they were like, But then people got into it and other people loved it. Someone was like got down on his knees to get the blood wiped on his face. So some people are really, really love it, but some people are like, oh, I don't know they don't know how to react or anything. So that was my
Well, I
first
imagine
go at it.
that's what you'd be going for, though, is it? That type
Uh,
of shock. Yeah.
yeah, but if I'm not announced at a gig, because I've done it
Mm.
for a few bands now, if they don't announce me, the audience are just like, who is this insane woman? But it's different at Venom when they're like, oh, this is going to happen. Like they kind of need a heads up. Otherwise, it's a bit weird, which I understand if a woman walks into a mosh pit with a cauldron and a heart and starts spitting blood about, it is a little bit weird.
I
Especially
haven't
then.
seen the Decrepit Monolith video, but I did see the Coral Snake. Am I pronouncing that band right? I think you were in one of their videos as well.
Oh, Coral Snake, yeah. I've
Yeah.
been in like 10 music videos now, and they're
Oh,
all
really?
like Northeast bands, yeah. Like all like Newcastle bands and stuff. I've been in loads. I did one and then I did another one. I did like Done In. Oh my God, there's so many. There's like 8 or 9, and I've just done my
Wow.
10th, I think, recently. I did one with Manners last year, which I directed as well. That
Oh,
was like a
wow.
bit of a Venom crossover. Oh my God, I'd have to bring you a list. I am meaning to do a video where I can go through every single music video I've done. Because I don't know how I've ended up walking into so many, but it's like my favorite thing to do because it's just like sick in it. I've just filmed one recently for a band that's not out yet, so I'm like excited for that one. And I've got a few
You are
more
just
planned.
absolutely full of surprises, aren't you?
I just get involved.
Everything.
If there's metal music, I'm like involved. I have to be. But yeah, I'll have to count, but it's about 9 or 10 now, I think.
I'm trying to think, is there anything that you can't do? You've got the burlesque, you're putting on festivals, putting on shows, and you're directing
No,
music videos as well.
good at everything. I just have to try stuff. Like the directing thing is something that I'd like to do a little bit more of. But I've directed a lot of my own shoots for Venom as well. Like the promo is all designed by me. I make costumes as well. I mean, you've just got to DIY a lot of it because, I mean, you don't really know where to start, or at least I don't. So I have to just kind of
Any bands watching this back later on? Check out
hire
Thorn.
me, spit blood and spit fire.
She's your girl. So, why the name Venom though?
So I wanted to find something that kind of fit with me and my aesthetic. And I've always kind of leaned towards like poison and a lot of looks that I'd built upon. I've done a post about it quite recently because a few people have asked like why Venom? It's all quite like deep and artistic to be fair, but it was based on a time where I was kind of like experimenting with makeup, and it was a way to kind of work through a lot of things mentally. And I always gravitated towards like nosebleeds and like stuff leaking from my eyes and mouth as if I was like spewing poison. And so that sort of poison vibe is something that I've always really gone for. So Venom was something that I really liked. I think it's goth, really goth for one, and just kind of symbolized a lot of the vibes that I was like coming from. And so that's what I went with, and it's stuck and it's done well.
Love it. Fantastic name.
The only thing is though, with the film Venom, it's probably a bit of a oversight because people are like, Venom, like the film, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, if anyone is going to Google, make sure you type in Google Venom Festival, because if you just type in Venom, you will get the movie, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So yes. So as we briefly touched on, you uniquely blend gore burlesque with metal music. Can you elaborate on this fascinating combination? Bringing two worlds together is just fantastic idea.
I think it's just all things that I like, and all the things that I enjoy doing. Because obviously I'd started off performing in fire, and I kind of wanted to go more towards the burlesque, gorlesque sort of vibe. So my immediate thing that I'm going to gravitate towards is obviously the music that I'm going to perform it to. And I've just grown up on metal music, and music's the most important thing to me. It's the core of everything that I do, from the inspiration, from like the looks and stuff like that. There's obviously like horror movies, and then metal, which is just everything goth, and then mix that with performance. I think naturally I was always going to go more towards the gore burlesque. I honestly didn't think that I would ever be able to do it, because I used to be like a really shy, still am quite a shy, nervous person. But I think I hit fuck it, and I was like, yeah, I'll just do it.
I'm the
Just do
same.
it.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm a completely opposite. When I'm not doing these podcasts, I'm generally quiet.
Yeah. So I was
So
like,
it's weird.
yeah. I was like, I'll just get weird with it and then just see where it goes. And it's led me here, so it's paying off.
I've got friends who are like wrestlers, and if you know, like cutting promos and stuff like that, where they can just literally talk on a microphone, basically like talk bollocks on a microphone. But then when you speak to them in real life, in person, outside of it, they're shy, very timid. It's weird, very strange,
Yeah.
but it's just one of them things. But yeah, I'm normally quite quiet myself.
Yeah. I
So
think a lot of
I
people are like that. It's when you're
mm,
doing your favorite thing that you can kind of step into yourself and forget like the nervousness. But I mean, if I'm on stage, I'm shaking. Like I'm absolutely terrified the whole thing.
still get the nerves before you go on.
Yeah. I'm ready at the day of. I'm like, right, let's go. We've been working for this on this for weeks, especially recently. I feel like I'm more confident in performing now, and I can look back on my performances and be like, actually, yeah, it's okay. I'm
Yeah,
doing
the
well.
more and more you do it, of course, and the
Yeah,
easier
but
it
I
gets.
do still feel like I'm gonna throw up every single time before I go on stage. If I'm doing fire, it's fine, but like the gore burlesque, because it's a routine and I've put months into it, and it's normally I only do it on stage once, like each routine. So just before you go in, I'm like, oh my God, why do I do this to myself? And I'll start panicking. I'm like, what am I doing? It hits me. Oh, I've got to like
Oof.
breathe and jump up and down. I'm like, oh God.
I couldn't do it. I hate just getting up on stage just briefly at Get Heavy Festival, just announcing a couple of bands. That only takes 5 minutes. I absolutely hate that. Absolutely
Once
hate
I'm
it.
up there, after 2 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting down. I love this. And once I'm on there, it's absolutely fine. I like don't want to get off stage. And I didn't like talking on stage, but I've gotten better at that because I just feel like I know a lot of the audience now and I recognize them. So it's like I feel like I'm talking to my mates and stuff, and
Yeah.
so I'm not so nervous now. But I'm still like just before a performance, that's what the worst part.
Ooh, big respect to you, because like I say, I couldn't do it. I couldn't
Terrifying.
do it. Like, so what were some of the early challenges then for you for that very first show?
Doing it all myself. So
Hmm.
it's and I was stepping into something brand new. And I didn't really have anyone to speak to. I didn't know any other promoters. Um, I didn't know things like backline and setting up stuff. Like a lot of the band stuff was like, I love going to gigs. I'm at gigs all the time, but there's stuff that I need to sort out that I wasn't sure. Luckily, a lot of my like the people close to me are in bands, and I can just turn to them and be like, what does this mean? Like,
Hmm.
and then they can help me out and stuff like that. But I think the amount that goes into it, so obviously the amount of social media work that I have to do, creating content. I'm really lucky that most of my friends are also being in bands. A lot of them are also videographers and photographers. And they're like they get the vision and we can work together on things. I design posters. I do get some help with designing some of the posters previously, but there was stuff that I couldn't ask for help with. So most of the posters, bar one, I think I've designed myself. Um, so that's like pressure, and then I've got to speak to venues and bands and sort out budgets and stage because I have a stage like built for it, and then
Hmm.
sound techs, and it's so much that when you're looking at all of it, I would like be like, oh, I'm gonna have a meltdown. This is really scary. That was the
A lot of
scariest thing
people
starting
don't
off.
seem to realize how much work goes into it, do they?
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 months work into each one. Like to get to where like so you'll see promo for about 8 weeks to 6 weeks before.
Mhm.
I've been shooting, directing, making costumes for weeks on top of that. So after I've done a Venom, I'm like, I'll have a rest now. I rest for one day, and then I'm like, right, next one's vibes, costumes, ideas, which bands are we going to use, what vendors am I going to use, what food are we going to get, like, and there's like loads of extra stuff, and then answering people's questions and merch and stuff like that. It's like, oh, very scary.
Just wow, that is a lot of graft for one
Yeah,
person to handle.
I have a little
So
meltdown every now and then, a quick cry.
oh, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. But I was the same with you starting out. I had to go to Sean Payne. Sean, what is this? Sean, what is that? What is that? I've
Yeah,
probably done
help.
the poor lads. I've
Yeah.
probably done the poor lads head in. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I've done that to a lot of people where I'm like, quick question,
I
what
normally
the
just,
hell?
I just normally just talk bollocks on camera. But yeah, Sean, what's this? What's that? So luckily, I had him to help me out.
With Get Heavy first.
Hmm Yeah,
I went to
and then you were at the debut one, I believe.
not this one that just gone, the one before,
Yes, that was
like the
our
one
very
just
first
gone.
one.
This one, and I only live up the road from where it is now as well. But the one that's just gone, I was booked for a job, so like literally, I was like, I was like, if I pop in, I'll literally have an hour there before I had to go. And then you sold out, which is sick, really
Yeah,
sick,
thank you, appreciate it.
really cool.
But yeah, because we've got all well, live footage from the very first one, and you can if you watch the live footage, you can see you and Ellen, and I think is it Rue? Am I saying that name correctly?
Yeah, Roos,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think you three are at the front of the
yeah,
stage for the
jumping
majority of
about,
the day.
embarrassing myself. Yes,
It's
I
not a
saw
song.
the live feed from the last one. I could see Evan, from was in Collapse of Colour, new band coming out soon. I could see him
Mm,
just like nodding his head. He's in Misery
yeah,
Channel now, so
he
I'm excited
is
to see what he's got coming out. But I could just see him at the front, the nodding. I was like, yes, always at the front of every gig. But yeah,
100%. I mean,
I
we
was
were
there
both at
dancing
a
with
show
Ellen.
on Saturday, and the poor lad's got a
Yeah,
black eye now.
did you see it happen? I saw it
I,
happen.
I didn't see it happen. I
He
think I must
accidentally
have.
headbutted someone.
But I thought it was a camera.
Yeah, so he headbutted the cameraman like that, and then he jumped up on stage with Mara's Massacre, to do
Oh, of
like that.
course.
They did Corn, a Corn cover, and I could see it swelling and swelling. I was like, oh, I've got a really good picture of it on my digital camera. I was like, mate, sit still. Documented it for him.
The mic grabber, as he's known as,
Yes,
just
always,
poised, ready. Whenever an opportunity knocks, he's there. What a
every
legend,
gig,
though. He's such a sweet dude.
proper
One
ledge.
of the one. Yeah. Well, we're getting slightly off topic, but so how do you go about selecting the performers for this unique mix? Are there any specific qualities and themes that you look for?
Yes, so performers, it's kind of the same but different selection process to the bands, but kind of the same at the same time. So the performers, I look at local performers. I also take performers from like further afield as well, but I like to concentrate on the Northeast because there's a lot of things down south, um, that are opportunities for gore burlesque and fire performers that we just don't have in Newcastle or the Northeast. So I like to select local people first, and also people who have that gore horror vibe as well, because there's like striking qualities that I really enjoy. Each performer has like a completely different vibe, but kind of meet in this gore burlesque, sexy, but also really spooky and scary vibe. And also a lot of the performers, they prop up the local alt community because they're at gigs. Most of my performers, if you go to a local gig, you'll probably see one of them there in the crowd. Their passion is also Northeast bands and metal, and like me, they'll be in gigs in like either in the mosh pits or right next to it, watching and cheering. And I think I just really enjoy that quality of not only are they creative in their own vibe, but they've also got a passion for the community and feeding back into the creative community and making sure there is a place for musicians and performers and small businesses.
Nice one, nice one. And similar for the bands, is there any particular genre of band that you look for, or is it just whatever tickles your fancy at the time?
So I like to see the bands in real life first, because the audience at Venom there's different vibes. A lot of people at Venom are quite new, and they might be they need a lot of interaction, I think. So I like bands that can go on and they'll interact with the audience, and the audience will really get into it. And I just think because it's such a interactive show from beginning to end, the audience are constantly being addressed because it's for the audience, and the audience need to be part of it. So I like to pick bands who are interactive with the audience, can have a laugh with them, and just get people going as well. And then bands that I kind of see supporting other bands as well get like double points. Like I really enjoy that when you see other bands sharing each other's stuff, going to each other's gigs and stuff like that. I think there's just mega respect for that. And they're just the people who are like just really wanting to be involved and just put their art out there. And then anything kind of metal, like I'm not too. So with Venom, I like to have like a selection of different types of metal. So I'll have like metalcore to like a lot of the heavier stuff, and then just a bit of like a tasting platter for an audience that won't know how or where to walk into a local gig, and they won't know any of the names of the local bands. But if I'm showing them a bit of everything at a Venom Fest, they can then find them elsewhere and then find another band from their gig, and then it can kind of open up to more opportunities. So yeah, just any band that's kind of interactive. That's what I like in the bands that are just very, very, very interactive.
No, I
Have some really good ones.
Don't know if you've come across the band yet. They're an all-female band called Dying Addiction from Birmingham.
No.
All-female goth band, which I think might be worth you having a bit of a check out for future festivals.
I am definitely looking into more female-fronted or female like inclusive bands, like AFAB women, wherever I can find. Really, there's not enough of a platform for a lot of women in the alternative industry, which is a shame.
Yeah, so they're called Dying Addiction. They've got like a new way, like a new metal type or negative type vibe to them.
Right up my street.
When we're finished, I'll send you that Instagram page.
Yes, please.
Like I say, it could be good for future festivals for you. I think that might be a decent fit, especially with what you're trying to go for. I think it would be a great fit for you. But in your opinion, what does the fusion of these worlds say about the complementary culture and evolution of performance art?
I think it says about the future that we can work together on more platforms. I think that we can combine our performances much more going forward. So I hope that it continues to be a thing, and we can kind of keep working together for future things, between the bands and the performers. But I think right now there isn't enough of it. There isn't enough of the mixing of the types of performers. But I hope there will be in future.
Hopefully, I'm assuming you'll be sparking some interests and influencing a lot of new performers coming out. So, and like I say, continue to work together and keep building on this, because it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger for you.
I hope so. I'm going to do more events as well that focus on performers, and then I do smaller events that are just band ones only as well, Viper Dens. And then I've got more things, just any avenue that I can do that can create interest, and money being fed back into these artists' pockets, and vendors, small businesses. So I'm just here for the vibes. Do you know what I mean?
Venues on top of that as well, because we need to keep these venues open. So,
yeah. big problem, the amount of venues. I saw earlier, was it 12 or was it 16% of our small venues, live music venues in the UK have shut down.
Yeah.
And they're mostly like venues under 500, which those are the venues that are really important to small local bands to get your foot in the door. So for those smaller venues to be at such risk is terrifying. Like it's
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. So we need places like Little Buildings, Anarchy Brewery. We can sit here all night and list them off what's in
yeah.
Newcastle,
We've got a
but
Head of
we need
Steam
them
and
all.
all sorts. Anarchy
Love a
Brewery's
Fiend.
getting bigger now as well. Love a Fiend is fantastic. Really good, really cool gigs coming out of that one as well.
Definitely,
Getting
100%.
Clooney and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, the Clooney is another one. Great,
hmm
great point there. So yeah, we need to keep these venues open, and because of how successful festivals like yourselves and gigs like yourselves are doing, it's keeping them open. So, which is what we need, because we
Yeah.
need live music. We need live music. We need live events. Just keeps us sane, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I'd do
Yeah, it
without
keeps
it.
us sane. Exactly. Probably go
Yeah.
nuts.
Oh, I
Probably
would.
go nuts.
Absolutely. It's like it's like the main point of my life just revolves around music, and live music is just like it's just the best. It's just the best. Especially alt in the alt community and stuff like that. Like the vibes always so welcoming, and everyone's dead sound, and it's so safe, and it's just such a vibe that it would just be such a loss if we did lose any more small venues or opportunities for bands to perform live.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Very well said. Couldn't have said it better. But looking back on your journey with Venom Festival, what has been your most rewarding part for you personally?
Some of the feedback that I've had, so I put a lot of the work into it being like inclusive to women, LGBT, people with disabilities as well, who might find it difficult to attend gigs or feel that they could without feeling anxious. I've had a lot of interaction back from people that they feel safe, that they appreciate that it's inclusive and accessible. I'm working on the last little bits to make it completely accessible. The only issue is the smaller gigs. It's really hard to find small venues that are completely accessible.
Mhm.
For the smaller gigs, Venom Fest is in Anarchy Brewery, which is mostly accessible as well. But that's the most rewarding part is seeing people just enjoy themselves as well. People like really get into it. And they're really accepting. And I've also started to see people who I knew their first gigs were Venom. I've started seeing them at smaller gigs, and they'll come over and they'll say hello to us and the other performers if we just catch them at a local gig. And it's just really nice. It's really nice to see that. It's like the community that's kind of building, and I feel like part of the community, and I feel like at home and stuff like that. And that's probably the most rewarding bit is like just building on the community. I think there's a little way to go because there's a lot of different like chunks of the community that could kind of come together and interweave. But yeah, that's probably
That
the
is
most rewarding bit.
that is absolutely sick, man. Honestly, just you bring in all aspects of walks of life together in one room.
All the goths.
Yeah, everyone. Do you know what I mean? I've said this on numerous occasions. I've even spoken this with Tony Dolan from Venom Inc. When we said it doesn't matter what you are in life, doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, bi, what matter what walk of life you take, we're all one, and that's metalheads, in my
Yeah,
opinion. Or for some cases, we're all goths. Do you know what I
that's
mean?
it.
But
Yeah.
you know what I
I,
mean? It doesn't
it's
matter what we are at the end of the day.
I think that's the case with a lot of alt people is I think I haven't met a single alt person who doesn't resonate with feeling pushed out. A lot of alt people growing up, alt, goth, whatever subgenre, you do feel very other. And I think it's just so refreshing to go to a place where you don't feel other, like everyone is just like you, and you get to meet other people like you and mingle and just build on that. It's just home, isn't it? Like, because it's hard making friends as an adult. It's really difficult because you're not like
Or even if you're
like
just different, do you know what I mean? If you're just
yeah,
different, if you've got long hair, you've got piercings, tattoos, do you know what I mean? People might give that side look, do you know what I mean? As if, yeah, what's going on with that person? Do you know what I mean? That's, don't judge me. Do you
yeah.
know what I
But it's
mean?
nice to go to a gig where we're all weird and different, and that makes us all the same vibe and all ready to hang out. And like we're
Yep.
all nervous kids really at heart, I think, that are just looking for somewhere to vibe and feel chill. And I think that's
Yeah.
and listen
We
to
just
riffs.
let our hair down. Well,
Yeah,
for some people, because I haven't got hair, let me beard down, if that makes sense.
yeah.
I
Just your beard down.
kind of let me hair down. I'm bald underneath this for a reason, so that's why I'm only wearing the hat, because if it wasn't, you'd just get a massive shine off
Just to
the
shine, yeah.
yeah.
The reflection.
That's pretty much. It's not pleasant, but and I'm glad that you've touched on that and what you're doing overall, because it's amazing to see. Because I'm a strong supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation,
Yeah.
which I would imagine you are as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And I still feel like that some of that prejudice is still about, unfortunately, by some people. So
Yeah, I think so too. It feels like less and less for me, but it's only because I've completely submerged myself. But every now and then you do get a little something which can be frightening. Because you're like, oh, this still happens, right? And it
yeah,
can be a little bit terrifying because obviously,
especially
um,
for someone like you've just said, new, getting into the scene, getting into the community, getting into the music. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
uh, respect again for creating not just a festival, a safe space for all.
that was what I wanted it to be. Firstly, is just safe space where we can all just relax and just enjoy riffs, mosh pits, and blood and burlesque.
Nice. What more can you ask for in life, eh?
Yeah.
What more? Nothing really. I suppose you can throw beers in there as well. Beers and
Well, that's it.
wines,
It's in a
whatever.
brewery,
That's,
so you get
that's perfect, really, isn't it?
you get your beers, your blood, your riffs, your pits, and your tits. It's just all someone needs to be happy.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
I'm working on it. Don't worry. I'm just trying to
Needs
figure
to
it
be
out.
on a t-shirt.
New merchant coming.
Absolutely love it. Yep, that is a winning t-shirt right there.
Riff
Just
tits
make
and
sure
pits.
it's just make sure it's in 3XL, please, would you? Because I'll have to
Yeah.
get one. So, what are your hopes for the future of Venom Festival? Where do you see the festival evolving in the coming years?
I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. I'm just messing around and like hoping for the best. Like I'm just a little guy that is, and this is my first rodeo and I'm scared. So I'm just like trying something new out and it's worked out really well, which is like I don't think I put too much thought into it other than I had an idea and I was like I need to see it out. And now that I've seen it out, I don't want it to get so big. I'm not like thinking this is the next download or like anything like that. Like in for me, I just want it to remain kind of the size that it is. And to because the sorry, let me think.
Oh,
Yeah, I kind of like so like I was saying, sorry, like my when your brain resets, that's what's just happened. So I don't want it to be like the next download or anything like that. What I want it to be is to just continue the way that it is. Like the place that we're at now is in Anarchy Brewery. That's I'm going to remain there as the venue because their sound, they get the vibe, they support me completely. They're at about 500 cap now. I think once it goes beyond that, you kind of really lose not control, but knowledge of the crowd. And that's where I would worry because I wouldn't want to lose out on safety or the inclusivity. Because when you go to a bigger gig, there's always a few people that might kind of ruin the vibes a little bit if they don't know
Yep.
the etiquette or anything like that. So the future of Venom is literally just more of what I'm doing, more spin-offs to create more outlets for the alt community and for creative people to make money and for Venom Fest to just continue on the kind of level that I'm at. Because the last one I feel like was like close to perfect for what I want. So I feel like the next one's just getting it smoother.
Mm.
If it just gets smoother, it's fine.
Nice. And when is the next one?
15th of February, Valentine's Day. Yeah, I like to do a Valentine's Day one. I feel like it just kind of fits with the blood vibes in a weird goth way.
So will there be without giving too much away for anyone who watches this before the 15th, any surprises that will be happening?
Always. There's always a lot of blood.
Always.
Don't wear white if you don't want it to get stained. Is which is all that's all I'll say is just if you're gonna come along, either wear black or something that you don't mind getting stained because you're gonna get hit with blood. Nobody leaves without getting hit with blood. There's always, I swear, no one leaves without getting hit with blood.
You purposely try and aim for the back as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, next time you're in Anarchy Brewery,
Right.
look at the ceiling.
Oh, really?
Look at the ceiling.
Right.
So sorry. I was so sorry. I was one of the bar staff at the end of the last one was like, I'm gonna take you into this room, come and have a look. And then he pointed up, I don't know if you've been in there, you know where the clear wall is, where you can see
Yeah.
all the tanks, right up to the top. So I kind of, that bit have you seen Daddy Daycare? Where Eddie Murphy goes into the toilet and he's like looking around and he looks up at the ceiling. I did that and I was like, I've got blood on the ceiling. I'm really sorry. Thankfully, they're all right with it. In fact, what I did get them, I got them a thank you / sorry card because the last Venom that I did, I got glitter everywhere and they had to like hire a proper cleaner to come fix it. So I gave them a sorry card, which they put on the bar, which was at the very end of the room. That was covered in blood at the end of the thing. So from the stage to the very end of the bar, I'd managed to hit a thank you / sorry card. So I was like, I'm gonna have to get them another one now. I mean,
I think the staff are gonna start like wearing raincoats or something.
yeah, we're gonna have to start selling like merch raincoats. Like when you go to like Disneyland and like the log flume, one of them.
I don't know if you've ever been to a Download Festival or Bloodstock or anything like that. Get like the ponchos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna make like a merch one of them. This year is actually going to be my first Bloodstock. I've never been to
Oh, you're
like
Bloodstock this year.
yeah, I've never
Nice.
been to like a proper outdoor festival other than like day festivals.
I'll probably
I've
see you
been
then.
quite nervous. Yeah, I'll see you there.
I don't know.
I'm normally quite nervous and stuff at them, so like I've never done like a long like festival or anything, so this will be my first one. We shall see.
It's I've missing one or two. I've been going since 2014, and that's my home away
Mint.
from home.
Mint.
You know what I mean? It's
The
my home
lineup seems
away from.
sick this year, so I was like, I'll give it a go.
And it's my birthday night as well on the first
Is
night. So I was
it?
like, yeah, to celebrate my birthday. Last time, I think the very first year I went in 2014, Trivium was playing and headlining.
Nice.
And they played on my birthday night, and it's similar again.
Brilliant.
It's like Trivium.
The stars have aligned for you.
What's going on here? But so I'll be celebrating it. Not too much because I haven't had a drink in over a year. Haven't had no alcohol in over a year. So another festival without any alcohol. Last year was quite a challenge. I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of coffee.
A lot of coffee, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, normally I like to have a beer. I'm not gonna lie. But
Yeah.
like I say, I think see my brain now reset. So New Year's Eve on 2024, I took my last sip of my drink to celebrate the New Year's, and then I haven't touched a drink ever since. So,
I've done the same this year. I have
mm,
I'll allow myself 2 or 3 beers,
mm,
maybe at some point, but just no drinking for me. Too much anxiety. Which I thought I would struggle at gigs without having a couple of beers because being social's scary, man. Do you know what I mean? Like it's really, really scary. But because I'm at the point now where I'll go like that gig that you were at the other night where I saw you,
mm.
like I turn up to that with 1 or 2 friends I know, like quite a few little people. Like there was about maybe 1/3, 1/4 of the people there I knew, and I was like, yes. So I feel like comfortable. I'm still panicking. Like I'm like if you ever see me outside of the house and I'm like, oh, I seem normal, I'm having a panic attack. I'm inside. I'm absolutely shitting myself at all times, and I'll go like face blind, and I get really panicked because I'll see people that I recognize, but I'm like, I don't think they recognize me. I don't want to be like,
Yeah.
I did worry that I wouldn't enjoy a gig without a drink, but I did. I thought it was fun, and I went to sleep and I woke up refreshed.
No hangover,
Highly recommend. Yeah,
buzzing.
really
No
nice.
hangover, absolutely buzzing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't miss the hangovers.
Oh, I get
Don't
anxious
miss
for
them
about
like
three
one.
days. I'll like sit there and I'm like, oh, I'm the worst person ever after I've had a drink. It's like, no more for me.
Nice. So with the 15th of February show, which bands do we have on?
Drenched are headlining. Boys from Berwick. They're fabulous. They've performed with Venom before. So I've brought them back to headline. Going back to that question that you asked earlier, if there's anything that goes into me picking
Hmm.
bands that I can collab with, because we jump up on stage for some of the live songs.
Oh, right.
So I like that. So I had a performer up on stage with them. In fact, they did my first event. And I had a performer up on stage and she did like a wax pour while they're on stage singing too. So I like that. I like that. So they're coming back and they're headlining. We have got To Nowhere. They did a Viper Den for me last year, and they are lovely lads, really lovely, dead passionate about the community and really supportive of other bands. Monarchs as well. I also had them on a Viper Den, and they are really, really sweet, really lovely. And then Culturist as well. I saw them not so long ago. So they're on as well. So I'm really excited for them. But yeah, really cool.
So we've got a
Really cool
full
lineup.
Northeast lineup. All four
Yes.
bands are absolutely
Yeah.
sick.
hmm
Great choice in bands. Um, I'm just gutted that I can't get there because once again I'm at graft. So I'll
I'll
just
give
have
you
to
the
read
dates for the
all up.
others.
Please, please.
I'll
At
try
least
and
that way I can
organise
find
around you
one.
next time.
Yes, please. Because I'm still yet to go to one of these bad boys, and I'm absolutely jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Seen everyone, all these videos, everyone having a good time. It's like, I'm not there. It's not fair.
Oh, the
It's
videos
like
are great.
going,
I was
like
looking
Harry
back over
Enfield.
them. That's
That's
one
like,
thing.
oh, I was
Yeah,
there.
that's one thing I usually miss is I don't get to like observe the audience that much. I do sometimes. I'll sneak into the audience and try and watch the band for a bit. But normally I'm like the stage hand for the night as well, and I'm like chasing bands on and off stage and checking on the girls and doing everything all at once. So I don't normally get a lot of time. But when I look back on videos, you can see people are going for it. They really get into it. We don't have a lot of mosh pits, but I think that's down to some people don't really understand the etiquette of it, and the stage that I have kind of messes with that. But they are like jumping up and down and going wild. So um, that's good. A really good audience every time. Like even on the early ones where it was a small audience, the screams and the interaction and stuff like that, they're always so sick and dead sound and like look after each other. Like if you go to the bathrooms, you can hear everyone's like gassing each other up and they're like, you're mint, no, you're mint. And everyone's like really into like supporting, and I've never had like a negative comment or had to sort out a problem or anything like that. So
I have not
sick.
seen a single negative thing to say about the entire event,
Thank God, because I'd crumble, I think.
which is
Like,
which is why you have made the premier festival, in my opinion, throughout the
thank you.
Northeast.
Uh,
It's
thank
the
you.
place to be. Absolutely sick, man, to see. And
Really
I
appreciate
love
that.
Newcastle just as much as you. You know what I mean? And we both want Newcastle to flourish because we've got a fantastic music scene.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know
the
what I mean?
bands are mint. The bands are absolutely mint. And I think that's it as well. So there's a lot of the audience that I get that I'll see afterwards or they'll message me and they're listening to the bands that I've had on consistently because they're like, they're sick. And then they'll listen. Like the issue is that obviously the bands don't make a lot of money from we all know the issues with Spotify and a lot of streaming services, completely unfair on creatives, even small creatives. And the main support bands can get is from selling merch and doing gigs. But the fact that people are listening to them every day and boosting them, and then they're more likely to come out to more gigs, and then it's just so sick. That like most of the music that I listen to day to day is just local music. Like I've got my
Yeah.
favorites. I love a bit of Corn and like the classics, and then a lot of like I love a bit of Archspire, like silly heavy, silly fast. And then I'll be listening to like Drenched. I listen to Drenched a lot, a lot. And they're all really sound lads. And then so many of the other bands as well. Negatives was one of the bands that I started going to gigs to. And then before like I met them and they've done a lot of Venoms for me. I met my partner is in that band, but they started off being my favorite band, and I was just going to their
Wow.
gigs and then seeing other bands that were supporting them. And then like I met Drenched and then Head Cage and Manners and LN and stuff like that. And there's just so much sick music to consume that's not like getting millions of streams, but it doesn't
Yeah.
say anything about the quality of it. It's just local. Like, so I think it
Swarms,
gets
who you had on your
Swarms.
crew,
They
their
were
their E
so sick.
their EP, Coal Dust, was my favorite release of 2024.
Their stage presence is so good. I have never laughed so hard. I I was front and center for their full set at Venom. And he's doing like twirls and stuff like that, and like the dances, the songs are sick, silly heavy. I absolutely love them. Really sound lads. And the whole crowd really vibed with them. I really vibe with them. Any chance I can get to catch Swarms, I will. Them in I've got a lot of their
Likewise.
merch as well. They're just sound. They're
I'm not gonna lie,
proper.
I'm wearing that cap right now.
I've got like the beanie and the
So
t-shirts and stuff. To be fair, most of my outfits consist of merch. Like almost every t-shirt, hoodie, hat, it's all like local like bands. I've got a lot of Ovulating Cadaver stuff. You saw them the other day. So funny. They're brilliant to watch.
uh,
I've collected up their merch. I think they're really. In fact, I had them play
it's
for my birthday.
their
Um,
song titles that are just absolutely creased,
One Man
honestly.
69,
One
Scorpion
Man
Brain
60.
Bukkake. Great song. Absolutely great song. Sick. Human Jelly.
Yeah, I was just
Fantastic.
about to say Image.
Brilliant.
Oh, honestly.
They're just good crack. It's so fun to watch as well. But I hired them to play for my birthday last
Oh, really?
year. Yeah, I did like a private gig. Basically, I was just did what I do for like gigs for my birthday. For me and my twin sister's 30th. We had LN Drenched, Ovulating Cadaver, and Negatives as well. But it was just like a little private party in the Clooney. We were all dressed up and everyone just got like drunk. And Ovulating Cadaver.
That sounds like a mint time.
Well, I'll be doing another one this year. I'll invite you along.
Oh, really nice.
Yeah, Ovulating Cadaver did a wall of death. And I was like,
Really?
my twin hit the deck straight away. I was like, no. Brilliant. It's absolutely proper crease. Really funny.
Oh, that is
Really
absolutely
good.
mint.
Min. Just that they're
But
so funny.
yeah, I mean, we could sit here again all night, list off all these awesome, amazing Newcastle bands. But like I say, which we're both in agreement, Newcastle's just absolutely sick and
Sick.
underrated.
Yeah,
Oh,
needs more attention.
it does need more attention. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. So, let's move into some quick fire. I've only got three or four.
Okay, I'm
Um,
scared.
and don't be. The
I'm
Get Heavy
panicking.
UK community will absolutely kick my arse if I do not ask this question, because we ask everyone, what's your Greg's order?
So, they're not selling it now, but the vegan festive bake, I ate that till I was sick of it.
Ugh.
Um, I didn't know it was a thing till after I'll set the scene. You know, Cradle of Filth were up in Newcastle recently.
Mhm.
I drank a lot of beer, and afterwards I went to Greg's and I had a festive bake, and I've never been so happy. I've got a video of me in corpse paint, full makeup, drunk, eating a festive bake, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. It was great. So that's my order.
That's brilliant.
Your joy.
That's what you want. That is what you want. You can just tell you never mess with a woman in a beer and a Greg's. It's what you want.
With corpse paint on
Yep.
and
It
goth
doesn't matter
boots.
about the gig. It's just as long as you've got that pasty in hand.
Ah, oh yeah, proper. I was crushing it between my hands, covered in
Oh.
it, ringing. I was
I'm
so
gonna
happy
get
though.
so many questions now of people. What's minging mean?
Oh, I can't not use like Northeast slang.
Likewise, but a lot of our viewership comes from the States. Um, so a lot of them are I keep getting random. What does this mean? What does that mean? Why do you keep saying no? Do you know what I mean? Just stuff like
Yeah.
that. What does no mean? So I've got to explain it. It's like it's no. So yeah, I don't think I've used that one yet. So I'm probably going to get a text message of somebody at some point.
What's
What does
this?
minging mean?
Newcastle slang's just unmatched. Obviously, I was from the south originally. I grew up in Middlesbrough, and
Right.
then moving to Newcastle, there was like loads of extra words where sometimes someone will say something, I'm like, what does that mean? Now I'm well versed in it all now, like completely. I'll only use Northeast slang because I've lived here my whole life really effectively. But every now and then, someone from Newcastle would drop a word, and I'm like, what? What does that mean? And it goes straight into the vocab. I'm using it within 24 hours every time.
With some of our overseas interviews, I normally do a Geordie challenge. I'll give them 7 Geordie phrases and they're going to try and guess what it means in their
Right,
standard English.
right, perfect.
Um, and everyone, for some reason, everyone just falls over and collapses with just laughter when I say Gizadeeks. Because
Deeks,
of because I think I'm saying something else.
and Deek is one of the newest ones that I've learned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because someone was like, "Oh, gives a Deek at that," and I was like, "Oh, what?
What?
What did you say?" But I was like, and then as soon as I heard it, I use it all the time now. I was like, "That's mine." If I hear a funny word or phrase, I'm like, immediately I must have it straight in the vocab.
Yeah, apologies, but someone thought I said giz a dick, and I was like,
Great,
nope,
great.
eek, D double E K.
Like, whoa, rewind.
Hang on, let's wind back a little bit. So yeah, that honestly creases me up.
That's a great one.
Oh, past or present, dream headliners and performers.
I'd love to have like for headliners, like
Mm.
I like Loathe or Harriet,
Mm.
but Dream Archspire is like my favorite band at the moment and has been for like when you get fixated on a band, Archspire at the moment just zooms right into them. Stupid heavy with the pinch harmonics, great.
Mm.
But I don't know. I'd have to think on that one.
Archspire, if you're watching back.
Hmm?
Get on this. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
Archspire,
Archspire.
if they're watching this back, however, get on
Yeah,
this.
100%.
Exactly. Get on this. And what about performer?
Hmm?
What about a performer?
Oh, I don't really know. There's a few. There's one called Shannon. I'd have to find her surname, but she is in Fuel Girls. She taught me how to do fire swords, and she's unreal. Like unreal. Her like performances are absolutely insane with fire. And then there's some really amazing like burlesque performers from down south. I would think would be really, really. In fact, the list is so long. Um, I've got some that are planned, so I'm not going to say too much, but I've got a couple from over the UK that I'm going to be bringing in when I can, that are very bloody and very cool. Lily Oman, a friend of mine and does score burlesque, so I definitely want to pull her in at some point. But there's loads of insane like performers that do some really cool, weird, out there stuff that I would love to bring in. But I don't really know. Just like anyone who's got the vibes.
Hard to choose. So many talented people out there. What's the best and worst part of organising a festival?
The best part is I can do what I want because it's mine. So I just get like full reign. I'm basically just organising a gig that I'd want to go to. So that's like my favourite thing is that I can pick out bands that I like and vibes that I like and really delve into the like creative side and do what I want. Like the most recent one that's coming up, heavily pink and diamanted because I fancied it, which is a vibe that I usually go for. So that's my favourite thing is that I've just got full like creative control. Yeah. The worst bit is that I've got to do it, and there's like a lot sometimes. So, do you know what I mean? Like when you look at it's like looking at the staircase when there's so many jobs. So you need to take it one step at a time to like not freak out. But yeah, that's the worst bit is probably that is just the moments of pure, oh my God, like what am I doing? I get a lot of imposter syndrome all the time. When it gets to this point about like a month and a half to about a month before, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm terrified, and then I'll get like really scared, and then it always works out. So, but yeah, the fear and the amount of work is the negative side. But
yeah, it's definitely one of mine as well. Definitely, and never feel like you've got enough time.
Yeah, that's
just
it.
time.
And then sometimes I'll smash through jobs dead quick, and I'm like, oh God, I'm amazing. But then, then sometimes I'll be looking at the list of jobs, and I'm like, who let me do this? Who let me like off the lead and just do what I want and just go mental? I think obviously you'll understand like having to chase down like venues and bands and vendors and timing like schedules and like because you're not just telling people where like a small amount of people where to be at what time. Each band has like 4 or 5 performers in, and then you've got 4 bands, so that's like 20 people, and then I'll have like 6 or 7 performers on top of that, so it's like 30 people that I've got to like kind of heard about.
That's a lot of graft. That's a lot of graft.
Yeah, it's scary.
I can only imagine. I've just got to book bands and that's it, done.
And then the vendors on top of it, because I have about 12 vendors, and I've got to make sure food's there.
12 vendors.
12 vendors, yeah, and then food, and then I get 2 tattoo artists as well because we do tattoo flash on the day.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, I've got like
you get like custom Venom like made of. Oh, nice.
Yes.
I like it.
So we've had like tattoos that are like based off of the performers, based off of the vibes, like it's, and then some that are kind of based off of the vibes of the night, whether it's like the Halloween ones or like Valentine's ones. I've like had Venom tattooed on my knee and all sorts. And a lot of people I know actually have small tattoos, which there'll be like a bone or something cool from like Cack-Handed Kid or Rob Fielder. They're the two that I've got at the moment. And I've had Rain, who goes by Trash Lord as well. So, and there's just a lot of people that have got like a rad little tattoo somewhere, and it's from a Venom, which is just fun. I think that's fun.
Mint. Definitely get me something on.
Permanent souvenir.
I don't show them much. I've got like both my arms like sleeved up, and I'm a bit of a geek. I've got my back tattooed in Star Wars, but I definitely want a Venom tattoo now. Like,
You've got to. It's the new. It's all the rage in Newcastle. Everyone has Venom tattoos now.
no, I need one. No, be left out now.
I try and get one at the beginning.
Space.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, like when I look at the Flash, I'm like, where will this go? For the last one, I didn't get chance to get one. The one before, I got one, and at the first one, I managed to get a tattoo as well. But I'm currently getting a massive tattoo by one of the tattoo artists that are going to be working there, so I think that counts.
We'll be getting some of the work done while you're at the festival.
It's a blackout tattoo. Could you imagine? Just like hours of blackout tattoo, then crawling onto the stage, shaking.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is it for your arms? Is it by chance? Oh.
It's from even worse, so much worse. It's from my hip up my ribs into my armpit. Rank. It's absolutely rank.
There's
really
another word.
Rank. Yeah, really bad. I started it 2 weeks ago. I'm getting it finished this Sunday because I was like, it needs to be done before Venom because I don't want it like unfinished. I was like, I can totally get it done in one session. I was like 3 or 4 hours in. I was like, mate, I'm going to throw up. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. So I'd rather do it in 2 sessions. Unhand me. It was really, but it's blackout, so it's like the big needle and on your hip and ribs. It's just, it's horrible. Yeah, it's not fun.
I just no. I mean, I don't think I could do that. Like, it was bad enough sitting with me back, to be honest with it.
Yeah, I had my spine done recently. Not good.
I think the painfulest one, it's the smallest one I've got, which is me mum tattoo. So for my birthday many years ago, we went into a tattoo store, and we actually paid the tattooist asked for a needle gun. He controlled like the little pedal that operates the needle, and me mum physically tattooed "mum" on the top of my shoulder here.
Oh, that's sick.
It's terrible. Honestly, it's like the lines don't even join up. It's just wiggly, and it's just terrible. It's really bad. But she pushes the needle in and she drags it, and it's like, Mum, just hurry up, please.
Oh God,
this is really painful.
That's terrifying.
I was like, please hurry up and stop. Yeah, it's really bad. It's like terrible. It's just shit.
Fun though, isn't it?
But at the same time, it's a tattoo that I can say no one else has got.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to get tattooed by my mum.
That's such a good idea. That's a really good idea.
If you're okay for your mum to hurt you, or a relative to hurt you
on your shoulder as well. God.
Yeah, it's literally just at the top of my shoulder. It just says mum, and I can't even remember what top of the arm it's on, but yeah, it's painful.
Oh God. Yeah. Seems like an actual nightmare.
It was. Tattooist just sat there. He's howling, laughing at us. And my mum was like, I don't know if I'm doing it right. Just get it done, will you? Just hurry up and finish. It's just 3 little letters, mum. End of it.
Branded it in. Can your mum tattoo me?
I'll ask her. I'll tell her to come to Venom Festival.
Just get Venom. She can be the tattoo artist for Venom.
Oh, can you imagine? People wouldn't come back. Oh
God, that'd be brilliant.
Man want a job. What's the job? Tattoo people at Venom
Tattoo artist whole day.
I'll do it, but they'll be shit. Everyone will be screaming and pain. Exactly, it's part of the experience, I suppose. It's part of the experience.
Yeah.
So one more for you. Okay. What has been the funniest thing that's ever happened backstage at one of your festivals?
Oh my God. Oh, I don't know. I'd need to think on that one. To be fair, it's always really funny because we've got like the girls that we all kind of get ready in one in one room. In fact, this is quite funny. So obviously you have to, we take our clothes off on stage, and my friend was like, oh, like my knickers are a little bit too see-through. So like the nipple pasties that you get that are heart-shaped. She just shot one of them over the top of the hoo-ha, and she just walked backstage and was like, this is what I've put on. And before I even knew what I was looking at, kegs down, and I just saw this little love heart. And I was absolutely creased at that. But there's always something like that where one of the girls have come in and they'll have like something mental happening, and you've just got to sit and laugh it off with them. I'm trying to think of something else, but it's always a crease in that back room where all the lasses are getting ready, and that like everyone's just having an absolute laugh. It's like a really positive. It's normally a, can you see this? And like you'll turn around and bend over and make sure that they can't see what you don't want the audience to see. And we're just chucking blood on each other and stuff like that. So like, does this look right? Splatter with blood. Yes, perfect. Because you'll leave the dressing room looking like glamorous, everything's perfect, and then you come back in just in underwear, just looking like a drowned rat, just dripping in blood. Is the usual. Tearing a wig off.
Any moments, a little side one, any moments where it's, oh God, that just happened, type moments?
All the time, yeah. One of the best ones, which I touched on earlier.
Something that would shock you though, because you'll be used to this, but anything that shocks you personally.
I don't think anything would shock me. I think I shock a lot of other people. The security at the last one, I scared. Because I don't think that he knew who I was and that I was running the event, because he just turned up, and I ran by him in just a bikini covered in blood, with like a gun in my hand that's like filled with blood, and because I like fill like water guns with blood and make sure like I just nail everyone with the blood, and you could just see he was kind of like, didn't even stop me. I think he just knew like she's definitely part of it. Which is a good.
Can you imagine what if that went horribly wrong and
they stopped me?
Tackles you.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Oh God. But the funniest.
Fit that into your set, maybe.
Oh yeah, like this is part of the experience. But the bit that had me laughing at the last one was one of the lads who worked behind the bar, Bobby. He came over and he was like, "Can I just grab you for a second?" Like arm over my shoulder, and was like guided me at the room. Was like, "Have a look at that wall." And this is when I've looked up the wall and there's just blood splatter, and like I kept looking, and I was like the more I kept looking, I was like, yeah, and it was like literally. Then I noticed it was on the ceiling, and that's when I started looking around and realised that I'd hit every single corner of that room. So, and then I saw videos of the crowd of while we were up on stage, where I was just hitting every member of the audience. There was like 300 people in there, and no one left without a speck of blood on them. I won't allow it. Doors are sealed until everyone's covered.
Well, I'm gonna get images of just chasing people. If you go out without a speck of blood, you're chasing them with your little squirt gun.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Last time I saw someone in the audience, she covered her head like that. I was like, I'll get you. I was like, I'll get you as well. I get everyone. It's one of the bands bought white merch. Bad move. It was at the back of the room, still got covered. Yeah. But they managed to wash it out, so I was like, sorry.
Oh, well, you've always warned people though.
Oh, I have to put it on the posters.
Don't wear white.
Blood warning. Don't wear white. Or wear white, but it'll look cool. But you're gonna have to wash it out.
Instead of like a tie-dye shirt with just blood dye. If that makes sense.
It'll look totally cool, but you won't walk out without getting covered in blood or something. We had. Roos James is an amazing performer. Like every time, really levels up. Last time did the blood scene, the blood rave from Blade.
Yes. Just
recreated that, and it was intense, really cool. So most of the crowd got hit by that, which was pretty good.
Nice.
Spraying blood everywhere. Anarchy Brewery, shout out. Just let me do whatever I want.
Free rein, there you go.
Yeah, support me in my bloody endeavours.
If they're giving you free rein, they can't complain.
They love it. They love it. The only thing is no more glitter, which I've agreed with them because I poured, I think it was like a litre of glitter onto the floor.
Oh dear.
And that, yeah, in my head, I was like, this is going to be easier to clean up. I had like a champagne bottle filled with gold glitter, and I'd like stapled money to my legs and my bum, because I did like a bank robber thing. This was like a few ago. And then I had like this like champagne bottle filled with glitter that I've like poured down me, and they were like, it wouldn't come out the floors. They had to hire a special cleaner, and I was like, I'm really sorry. So I bought them sweets. I was like, everyone gets sweets. I'm so sorry.
Kind of sweet, so.
Oh, it was like a full like trick or treat like bowl filled with everything and anything, and a sorry card, which I then hit with blood.
Reese's Pieces, though, makes everything better, in my opinion.
Oh, there was no Reese's Pieces.
Ooh.
I know. There was like Halloween chocolate on it.
Nah, fair enough, yes. That's fair play.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to think
Right
of something
then.
better to give him this time because oh,
Well, shouldn't be too bad if you've got no glitter. Unless you're trying to up the ante somehow without glitter.
I'm still covering the whole place in blood though. And they don't make me clean it up either. They do it themselves.
They do it themselves.
Shout out, yeah, shout out because it's like a good amount of blood that needs to be cleaned up.
Big love to Anarchy Brewery.
Big love to Anarchy Brewery. The gigs that they're putting on this year are really, really cool as well. Really wanting to support the community as well. So big respect to them. They put on
They've
really
got
cool events.
decapitated soon, haven't they?
Hmm?
I think they've got decapitated
They
soon.
have got decapitated on.
It's absolutely
They've
sick.
got some amazing ones coming up, and they also do like other events like Nout Special, which really Nout Special is really cool. It's like art and small businesses, so that's a really sick day out as well. So I'd keep an eye out for that, because they're just really cool support for local artists and stuff. So Nout Special put their events on at Anarchy as well, which
Nice.
is super sick.
We'll have to get that checked out sometime.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, Thorn, thank you so much for your time this evening. I've had
Thank you
an
for having
absolute
me.
lovely chat and getting to know all about the Venom experience, even though I have not been there personally. I feel like I have now, but I
Let me
will
look at your
get there.
schedule. I'll sort out.
I'm going to be on it. Be on a late carb on it. So, anything that you wish to finally plug before we do end it?
Venom Fest, come to it. Just
Get yourselves to it.
yeah. And
Where can people
basically,
get tickets?
yeah, get tickets. Get tickets.
Where?
We sold
Where
out
can they
for where? So you can
Yeah.
go to my Instagram, which is Venom_Fest, and the link will be in the bio. It's like a Fat Soma link. So you can get those tickets directly from us. I believe it's also on the Anarchy Brewery website. I'm not sure, but best bet Venom_Fest. If you could follow and support, that would be really sick. But mainly just look at local gigs, get out there and support. And if you can't, like and share local artists' stuff and give them a listen and just look after each other in it.
And all links, including ticket sales, social links, etc., will be in the description of the video. So finally, I'm going to leave you with the Get Heavy Creed, which is the rules of the pit, or the rules for life. When someone falls, we pick them up.
I love that. Fabulous.
That's